Welcome, welcome to the Authorpreneur Summit. I'm so excited to introduce to you today Pat Carpenter. And so let me tell you a little bit about Pat. She is a two-time best-selling author, over 38 years in nursing and caring for others, extensive career. And she's gone on to be an entrepreneur with Mary Kay very successfully and is studying under Lisa Nichols, world-renowned motivational speaker, and is sharing many of her teachings through what she does for people. And I'm excited to have her here with us. Welcome, Pat. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Welcome. Thank you. It's
All
good
right,
to
so
be here.
let's jump right in and talk about you had two best-selling books come out this year, back to back.
Yes, back to
So
back.
tell me a little bit about your books and what you're up to this year. What do you got going on?
Okay, the first book was totally by surprise. I was invited to be a co-author with a book that Nichols put out called Rise Up, and my portion was a chapter.
Mm.
And that book rose to number one like overnight. It was so exciting to work with Lisa in that capacity. A few people read my chapter and asked me to expand on it. And I went, okay, that's a thought. So I did. And then that book was published through Amazon. And it just took off and it became number one almost overnight. So within 90 days, I had two books published. That just, if it never happened again, I can say it happened once.
Yeah. And what's the name of your second book that I'm assuming it's under Pat Carpenter or Patricia
It's under
Carpenter?
Pat Carpenter.
Mhm.
It's Overcoming the Dream Stompers. And a dream stomper is someone that will stomp out your dreams no matter what. And the whole premise of the book is how I had to identify dream stompers and
Mm.
then what I did to overcome to follow my dream.
Well, I think we've all met a few dream stompers in our lives, and
Yeah.
sometimes we're related to them.
Yes, they can be relatives, they can be close. And sometimes they didn't follow their dreams, so they're going to squash yours, right? Um, or it could have been that you had a dream that you just couldn't pursue for whatever reason. So many life things happen. The reason you may not have been able to pursue your dream. So it's basically telling you never give up.
Mm.
If you have a dream, follow it. You may have to tweak it a little bit along the way, and it might not be exactly as you dreamed about it, but you can get fairly close.
Mm. I love that. So I'm lucky, I'm really, really fortunate that most of my dreams have come true. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I did that. I'm doing that. I love it. But I often hear of people who like had wild dreams of being like a famous singer and ended up married and in a career and having a good life, but they never got to attain that wild goal. If I were to declare one of those for me, it was I always wanted to do roller derby. And I'm 52 now, and there's no way I'm going to be able to do roller derby. So for those of us who get to an age and a point in our lives where we're like, okay, so that dream is not going to happen. For me, it's like it's safety reasons. Like I can't I can't fall and break a bone at 52. I don't want to break a hip. But so what do we do about those dreams that were unattained? How do we reinvent those dreams? Because you were saying that sometimes they change a bit. Uh,
Yeah.
how do we recapture those dreams? You know, kids are out of the house and now we get a second lease on life. What do we do?
So I was saying, like, okay, so maybe you can't be in the roller derby for whatever your reasons are now, but we sure could probably find a roller derby and probably have you sit on the front seat or be right down there where they're coming around so you can feel the rush as they come around. Maybe we can even have you do an interview or have lunch with them. See, I mean, so you've
Definitely.
tweaked your goal,
Okay.
but in your heart, you can get as close as possible. Like you might have to alter it a little bit, but you don't have to give it up.
That's brilliant. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I love it. And so, what are you up to these days? What are you doing next?
Well, next I'm starting a program where I will work with anyone that has the same type of thought you had.
Mm,
Maybe I'm too old, or I thought maybe that wasn't in my possibility. Let's talk about it. Maybe it is in your possibility. Like I said, we might have to tweak it a little bit, and it might not be exactly how you envision it when you were younger or when that thought came up, but it's always possible. And we would start by looking at exactly what is it that you want to experience? What is it that you didn't do then? How can we look at it now and make it a part of your life? Like somebody say, "Oh, I want to be an astronaut." Well, that ain't gonna happen at this age, but
yeah.
maybe we can get you to Cape Canaveral. Maybe we can have you. They have programs where you have lunch with the astronauts. You know, they
Good.
have that.
I
So
love
it's possible. So I've set up a nice little framework of setting up a goal. And I mean, they have all kinds of names, but when it finally hit me what it was called a SMART goal.
Mm.
And it has to be specific, measurable, achievable, and relevant and time-based. So let's
Wait,
look at
could you say that for me one more time slower? Because
mhm,
I know they're taking notes. I'm taking notes.
okay,
Okay. So it
a
has to
SMART
be
goal,
specific, has to
specific,
be
measurable,
measurable.
attainable, relevant,
Mm-hmm.
and time bound.
Time bound. Okay. Love
Yeah,
that.
right. So specific is when we sit down and we talk and say, okay, what was the goal? When did you miss it? What was going on in your life? Where are you now with that goal? Let's tweak it a little bit. How can we um, get you as close to that goal as possible?
Mm.
Measurable, when do you want to do this? Next year, next week, next month? It has to be very specific and measurable. You don't want to put it so far out that it gets boring with you and you drop it. And you don't want to make it so close that maybe we set up a list of things to do and you can't do it because you put your time crunch so tight on it. Achievable, let's make it realistic.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be flat track roller derbying out there.
No, but
No.
we could find out where do they still have roller derbies and where are they?
Yeah.
Uh, who are the roller derby stars? Would they be willing to have lunch with you? Maybe you can't actually be out on the arena with the roller derby people, but maybe we can get you strapped up on some shoes and some skates, and maybe just have them stand with you.
Mm.
It's always a way.
Yeah.
Achievable. Let's think how we could achieve that. Relevant. So relevancy is let's only make goals to get you to your end outcome.
Mm.
We're not going to make these fantastic goals and like, I'm going to do this, and it's not physically possible. So let's keep them small and relevant. Time bound again.
Mm.
What's the overall goal? Let's break them down into little chunks.
Mhm.
And then at the end, what's your big hooray?
I love that. I love it. Brilliant. And so you're going to be helping people one-on-one, or are you
Yeah,
working on a group?
I would love to work one-on-one, but I think I will set myself up where I could work with a small group, maybe 3 or 4 at a time, because after that it gets cumbersome. But if you take a small group, 3 or 4 at a time,
Mhm.
um, and because you really want to talk to them and find out what is it that you want.
Mhm.
And I came to this realization when I was very young, in a job, hated it, 2 kids on my own, and the money, ends are supposed to meet, those they were never meeting. So, ooh, they were never meeting. So I had to think of a way where I could find a job. My goal was to find a job that I could work 40 hours a week, never needing to work overtime, and bring home the money that I wanted, which included me starting a small bank account. And at that time, $500 was $1 million to me. So that's what my goal was in the bank. And I sat down and I looked at the different jobs. I went to the library. They have a book of jobs. I didn't know that. Then I started looking at jobs that what would give me that kind of money in my 40 hours. Okay, well, what's the education that I would need for that? Was it local? Did I have to go away? I found something local. I was able to find that nursing used my past medical credits that I had, that I could roll them over and continue in nursing. And it just happened one day. I walked in on a conversation where some LPNs were talking about furthering their education to RN school. They didn't want to give me the information, but I got it. I got the information,
Yeah.
and I showed up at the open house at the nursing school, had an open house, and I couldn't stay that day. I had gotten some dental work and it was wearing off, and I was so like, oh my God, I'm here and now I can't stay. And I had all the papers with me I thought they would need. I was walking out, flagged down a lady, spoke with her. She took the papers, read them through, and said, start on Monday. I almost fell through the floor. I said, no, lady. I meant I want to come and talk to you. And she says, we're talking now. Start Monday. What have you got to lose? And that's how I got into nursing school. It was a 36-month program that I worked really, really hard and finished in 30 months. But I had to keep my head down, follow all of the little teeny goals. I had to get a network of other mothers to help, because my kids still had a life, So I would say, if you take my daughters, I'll deliver all the kids home, but it would give me time to study. So 3 years later, I took the nursing state boards and passed on the first go. That blew my mind, because they always say you're going to have to repeat it. Well, I went in that day, let's say a Monday morning, as a new graduate nurse. And before I walked out of there at 3:30, I was a brand new licensed RN. And I had a great career, so I have no regrets. And I worked at 30 some years.
Wow. I love that story. I haven't heard you told that before. It's inspiring. It's so inspiring.
Yeah, but you gotta be real clear what you want, set goals. And sometimes my goal was, do I have enough money to put in the gas tank?
Right.
And my daughter used to give me the 30 cents for the coffee machine. So my goal was getting there and getting my coffee in the evening. And if I did that, I was okay, because it was evening weekend school. So I did that for 30 months.
And worth every bit of it.
It was. I have no complaints, because knowing where I was and the ends never met, to 30 some years later, I never worked a day of overtime in my life after that.
Wow.
And I never wanted to work weekends. So when you work in dialysis, which was my specialty, your weekend is only a Saturday, and it's only 2 Saturdays a month. I never worked another Sunday.
Good. Well, and now you can help others reach
Yes.
their goals.
Yes. So I made a little formula of what I used to use, and it is available. I have my email there. It's cpat. No, I will use the California Pat 3614 at gmail.com or cpatrodney@hotmail.com. Either one. Email me and say you would like to take a look at the framework for making a plan towards the goal. I even give you some little examples of what I actually used. And some of them were just really tiny goals. Who's going to watch my babies tonight between this time and this time?
Oh, that's a
And
big one. That's a big
yeah,
one.
yeah,
When all you just need is a little adult
just
time,
a
that's a
little
big
bit of
one.
time. Yeah,
Yes, I
yeah.
love it.
So
So
they can get the framework, and if all they have to do is email me.
fantastic. That's so easy. And we'll, of
It,
course, have the links available for them to get in contact with you as well. And we'll circle back around to that in a minute. I wanted
mhm.
to ask you, um, so what have the benefits been? I know that this is still fairly new for you. You have two best-selling books. What are some of the benefits that you've seen so far this year from having your bestsellers published?
I was asked to be part of a podcast, and it was Mr. Lawrence Van.
Yeah.
That was fun. I'd never done a podcast before, so that was fun.
Oh, you'll have
Um,
many more, I'm sure.
that was so fun. And when he invited me to be a part of the podcast, it's like, wow, sure, I'll do it. So that was been interesting. And then other people have asked, how did you do it? How did you manage to stay so focused for so long? Um, so I've been able to speak to others and give them hopefully hope and inspiration
Yeah, I
that
bet.
they can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And have you had some reviews and things, some feedback from people about your story and your book and
Yes,
how's
yes.
that
The,
going?
the ebook came out first,
Mhm.
and the ones that downloaded the ebook and called me back, and I read it, I loved it, but oh my goodness, it was so much more than the other book. You really went into details with the second book, so that was interesting. That was fun. That I was so it's exciting and scary all at the same time because you don't know how far it's going to go. Will it be a bestseller? She said it might be a bestseller. Will it be a bestseller? And you're watching the numbers go up. I mean, it was exhilarating.
Yeah.
I've never been through anything like that. So that was fun.
Mm.
Wasn't fun while you're going through it, but it was fun.
Oh, I love it though. I love it. It is. It's a nail biter. I've had over 600 bestsellers, and I tell you, it's a nail biter every time until those numbers actually show up. You're
Yeah,
like, where are the numbers? Where are the numbers? And
yeah,
then when it
yeah.
happens, it's like, what? Confetti everywhere.
Oh my God. We watched a teammate a few weeks earlier, and to see her excitement, and she was bouncing off the walls, and I'm like, can't be that exciting. But yes, you are bouncing off the walls. You are. But it was
Yes,
fun.
it's worth
Yeah.
it, right?
It
Like,
is.
oh,
It really is.
it isn't easy for anyone. Like the process, it might look easy and it might look rewarding, but it's challenging. There are challenges that come up. That is the one thing I can guarantee every author is that you're going to hit challenges.
Oh yeah.
Guarantee
I
it.
have
I
a
absolutely,
couple.
whether it's
Yeah.
technology challenges or it's writing challenges or time challenges or just internally because you're putting a piece of yourself out in the world and you might be worried that somebody's going to judge you or what they might think or is this going to help someone or who am I to write a book?
Right, right.
All those things. And
Yeah.
working with Lisa Nichols, I'm sure helps you,
Yes.
breeze right through that part of it. But some people haven't worked with Lisa yet. So that's
Whoa,
more challenging
yeah.
for them. But yeah, and so to overcome, it's like, they surveyed people, 81% of people surveyed say they want to write a book, but less than 5% ever do.
Right.
It's not as easy as it looks.
It's not, and it's not as easy to find people to help you because I took this venture on maybe 10 years ago, and I was so sorely disappointed. I said, I'll never write anything again, ever,
Mm,
ever. And then I met up with Lisa, and one of Lisa Nichols' things is she would say, the writing isn't for you, it's for other people. Other people get a message. And I went,
right.
oh, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
And then she teaches you, you put yourself out there. Don't care what other people think about it. You put yourself out there. You never know what word or what someone will get from your message, which was a whole different thinking.
Mm,
And
so
after
powerful.
that, yeah, it's so powerful. And after that, I'm me. If you don't
Yes.
like it, don't
And
read
we're
it.
so glad you
Book.
are. We are so glad you are because, even like goal setting is a fairly common thing. People need to set goals to get things done, but your people are going to identify with you. They're going to enjoy your story. They're going to relate to you best. They're going to want more from you. They're going to want your formula and the way that you do things. And like goals have been done for eons and decades, and there's plenty of books out there about them. However, if Pat's for you, she's for you, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I,
I've been setting goals for years to get things done, but that's
yeah,
in me. That's who I am.
yes.
And I had a nursing job one time, and they were telling us all about uh, the paradigm shift. Well, that took a while to sink in. And then they said SMART goals. And I'm like, well, what's the difference? I've been doing goals all my life. Well, then I went, oh, that's what they're called.
Mm.
SMART goals. And there's so many different names for them, but I can get you where you want to be. Might not be exactly how you thought about it, but we can get you pretty close.
Well, you certainly helped me today. I mean, I just thought that's a goal I'm never going to get to attain. And every now and then I do get to attend them. That's what they're called, is a bout.
Uh,
When they go around flat track. It's now flat track derby.
oh,
I get to go watch one every now and then, but I never thought like, hey, maybe I could interview some of the girls on podcasts. Maybe
yes.
I could do they're called the Rose City Wreckers, which is just recreational as opposed to actual competition. I could, maybe go slow and take it easy. Maybe not break a hip.
Right. Or
But I never thought about that until
just
today.
to dress in the garb that they have as they
Yeah.
whiz by and you're dressed like they are. Or you might not want to get out there and do the roller derby, but maybe you can sit
Right.
all dressed up and put the rollerblades on your feet and
Yeah, I
be a
hadn't thought
part
about
of it.
that. So thank you for that. Like, I talk to a lot of goal setters like all the time, but that just like, thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So I love it. How can we stay in contact with you on social media? Do you have like social media?
Yes, I'm on Facebook. Was it
Is it Pat Carpenter or Patricia Carpenter on?
no, it's Pat Carp. They didn't put the TER on it.
Oh,
It's
is it
Pat
all one?
Carp.
Is it Facebook/Pat Carp? Oh,
Nine
okay, that's
six
easy.
zero zero.
Say that again.
Facebook slash
Uh-huh.
Pat Carp,
Uh-huh.
CARP 9600.
9600. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's easy enough. We want to stay in contact with you on social media too.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. And then, of course, the links will be available for everyone to just easily click on. So convenient. And then
Mm-hmm.
get your free Work Smart uh, PDF handout
Yeah.
set their
Fra-
SMART goals.
Framework for making a plan towards the goal.
Love that. Love that. Thank you for that so much. We appreciate it. And we appreciate your time today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. It was fun. Oh, I've done two now.
Yeah. And I know that you will be doing more. You're just getting started.
It was good. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much. Have a good day.
Bye.